It's a showstopper, and it's must-see TV.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Now, I know that you guys have heard all about the Olympic drama with Simone Biles and her withdrawing herself from a lot of the competitions due to dealing with the Twisties. And so we are going to be diving into all the details about what the Twisties are, what causes them, how common are they in gymnastics, and how to work through it if you are experiencing these. And you may be asking, why do you know so much about the Twisties? I'll tell you why. I am a retired gymnast, an active coach, and a ranked judge, all in the sport of gymnastics. I have been around it my entire life. You could say that, well, I guess you could say many things. I'm very obsessed with the sport of gymnastics, and also I got experience. So if you want to learn more about the Twisties, and maybe you're a coach and you want to learn how to help your athletes with the Twisties, then just keep watching. Let's just dive in. What the heck are the Twisties? The fancy term for the Twisties is basically a loss of proprioception. That means is the perception or awareness of the position and movement of the body. And as a gymnast is flipping and twisting and going upside down, sometimes we lose our sense of direction or where we are at in relation to the ground. So in a more simple term, it's basically getting lost in the air. This here is a couple of videos that actually Simone posted to show you guys what exactly she's dealing with. So as you can see, as she's slipping off the bars, she's kind of stalling, and that's because she's getting lost in the air and she's kind of losing that sense of direction, like I said, in relation to the ground. Sorry. So just real quick, I did notice that I looked down a lot. That's actually because I have my computer here, because I had to write down all the details just to make sure I, covered it all and I gave you as much information as possible. And so that's all. Sorry. Just wanted to make sure that was clear. Okay. As she's kind of twisting and flipping, she's not really able to do exactly what she's wanting her body to do. And, many of you may actually have had a similar experience with, say, like amusement park ride, maybe in a car accident, or, trying a flip on your own on someone's trampoline. And in any of these cases, it may have been, very scary for you, or maybe kind of confusing. Luckily, you had your seatbelt, maybe you had a net around the trampoline, or maybe you had a bar down on you to keep you held in place and safe. With gymnastics, we don't have any of those things. And so that is why it becomes very scary and it becomes very dangerous when this starts to happen. So that kind of brings me to how common is the Twisties in gymnastics? Specifically in gymnastics, it's actually very common, especially when learning new skills, because in general, gymnasts haven't had enough repetition needed to build what we call muscle memory. This type of the Twisties is still technically dangerous. However, when learning new skills, coaches know that this is something that could potentially happen. We also inform our athletes that this could occur, and because of that, we take the right precautions to make sure that they are learning the skill in small increments at first. We are doing lots of drills, we are spotting them, we're using extra mats, or maybe we're going into the pit. And with time, the new skill Twisties will actually eventually fade very naturally on its own. But as far as Simone, she's already mastered these skills. She's done these for years, and so unfortunately, there's not really a reason or one reason that this can occur in athletes after they've already previously mastered a skill, which kind of brings me to the next thing is what causes the Twisties? There's a great answer and also not a great answer, and that is there could be a variety of reasons that starts. Maybe the gymnast is learning a skill too fast. There could also have been trigger events, and a couple examples are maybe they got hurt in it, or, you know, they see a teammate try it and the teammate got hurt. Or it also could be starting internally with negative self-talk. Those are very common trigger events that could start them second guessing their gymnastics, and then that kind of just spirals into that loss of the sixth sense. And with Simone, she's actually mentioned that stress has been a factor before, and once the brain senses that its safety is at risk, it will actually activate your nervous system in what we know it as fight or flight. Regarding that, you know, an athlete is not going to fight their coach. They're not going to. They're also not going to be able to fully escape. You know, they can maybe escape for the hour or the day or the week, but eventually it's going to come to light what's actually happening. If your nervous system is activated, but you can't fight and you can't flight, then what the body does is actually freezes. It will lock up, shut down, and this is also known as a mental block. I actually want to make a full video regarding mental blocks, and so if you guys are curious about those, if I could supply with just a little information or maybe a different solution that you haven't thought of, I would love to do so, and I would love to help you out. Give this video a thumbs up and let me know how I can help in the comments below. Going back to the freeze and the mental block, it honestly can get so out of control that it starts to bring on physical symptoms to the athlete, such as the shakes, nauseous, being dizzy, among several other symptoms. It's honestly like looking at a 5,000-foot mountain full of mud and snakes are everywhere, and oh yeah, it's covered with poison oak. You know, you're gonna look at the person and be like, no. The brain is like, nope, not happening. And I'm sure your body probably won't even let you walk forward towards it because it knows it's not safe. And that's very, very similar to what the body does as soon as the twisties kind of to start to happen. And that's kind of the physiological changes that your body goes through. All right, guys, so now that we know what the twisties are, we know that if you're starting to experience some of these things, we know that it's common, and we also may know what was the cause of it. Okay, so now what? And I'm actually gonna replay Simone's vault from the team competition, and we're gonna watch to see what she does first, because that is my first step.
It's a showstopper, and it's must-see TV.
And
Wow.
Very uncharacteristic vault for Simone, but it looked like she got almost lost in the air.
So as you can see, Simone immediately got off the podium and went to her coach and communicated that she was having a problem. Athletes, go talk to your coach. Coaches, listen to your athletes. If one of my athletes came up to me and expressed concern about, you know, not knowing where they are, or, you know, feeling frustrated and not really trusting that they're gonna land or something like that, I would just say, you know, thank you for coming to tell me. I really appreciate you communicating it to me. Let's stop doing it and maybe take a step back and kind of rework the skill. A lot of times they're gonna find a lot of comfort in that. You know, their active nervous system is gonna probably start to calm down a little bit. That kind of leads me to, you know, step 2 and 3. Step 2 is to stop the skill. Step 3 is going to be go back to basics. You know, we need to rebuild the athlete's muscle memory by training and going back to the basics. Very simple drills, easy on the mind, and it'll start to bring that heightened state of panic back down to normal. My final step 4 is to be patient. Be patient. And this goes for both the athletes and the parents. If you're not patient and you start pushing the skill or pushing, you know, them to move on to the next step of the skill, and if they're not ready, you can actually be prolonging the twisties for, you know, a week, a month, or longer. You just gotta give it time and let the body kind of reboot and restart. All right, guys, let's recap. Are the twisties a real thing? Yes. Can it get better? Of course it can. If you are willing to put the work into it and you have the right tools and people around you, more than likely you will be able to work through it and get back to your happy and flipping self. Do you support what Simone did, even if it cost the US a gold medal? 1,000,000 times yes. An athlete's safety should be a coach's #1 priority. I will never think that she cost us the gold medal because the things that get thrown her way in the last couple of years, she has shown such resiliency and such tenacity. And I think for that, she is such a great role model. And so I would rather have 1,000,000 Simones than any number of gold medals. And because at the end of the day, if it's gonna cost you your piece, then it's too expensive. If you are not already subscribed, then girl, also make sure you click the bell icon to know when I upload another video, because you guys, my next one's gonna be so good. It's gonna be so good. All right, guys, that is all that I have for you. Toodles.